And next, let's look at Atlanta at Seattle. Atlanta's a 6-point road favorite. Atlanta's been great, of course. They've now covered 5 straight games, including a bunch of games where the line was seen as a quote-unquote trap, as this is being called by some people. Seattle, of course, has gone in the opposite direction. They're 2-5 against the spread over their last 7 games. So in this game, people are debating whether this is where they should try to time a reversal of fortunes of both teams, or if the trends over the past 2 months are likely to continue. And specifically with regard to Atlanta, some people are saying that the market is still not a quote-unquote believer in Atlanta, and that they will continue to be a good bet until the market catches up with how solid they are and where their line should be. Atlanta has now won 2 straight road games, and a number of people have also noted the statistic that only 4 teams since 2000 have been able to win 3 straight games on the road. So here are some quotes talking about all this. First guy writes, he started a thread. He wrote, "Atlanta -6. What am I missing? My first instinct is that this is an easy call taking Atlanta. Seems too easy. What am I missing?" Another guy gets a little bit more specific. He goes, "Seahawks will get Mike Williams back, but they still have an offensive line that's terrible. No run game either. Atlanta will win by 10 or more. The Seahawks defense is garbage as well. They struggle to rush the passer. The secondary is pretty bad. Yes, the Seattle crowd is one of the best in the league, and the stadium is awesome. Who cares? They don't block and tackle. 34-17 Atlanta." And then another guy writes in favor of Seattle. A poster wrote, "Seattle +7 is a great play. Seattle has one of the best home crowds in the NFL. It's a 3,000-mile trip for Atlanta, and Seattle is desperate. This is the 3rd straight road game with the big game with the Saints looming next week." Definitely a letdown spot. So what do you guys think? Is Atlanta a good bet giving less than a touchdown, or Seattle a good bet as a decent-sized home dog? Scott, what do you think?
I'm probably not going to touch this side here. I definitely would not want Seattle. I mean, this team is really falling apart. When Seattle has lost a game this year, they've lost by at least 14 points or more. So they're not competitive when they're losing. And quite frankly, if you go back to October 24th, their 3 wins are 22-10 over Arizona, 36-18 over Arizona, and 31-14 over Carolina.
Right. That's
not a great profile of teams that you're beating that are real good. Matter of fact, I think I saw a stat. Carolina was actually up 14-0 in that game. It's the only time this year Carolina's been up by more than 7 points in any game. Seahawks obviously came back and got 31 points straight in that game to win it, but the teams they're beating certainly aren't very good. I'm not super high on Atlanta's defense, but they do play fundamentally good football and should be able to really take apart Seattle. And quite frankly, Seattle here, you gave up 40 points last week. 3 weeks ago, they gave up 42 against Kansas City, 34 against New Orleans, 41 against the Giants. They've really fallen apart here. I actually kind of like the over a little bit in this game, and probably actually will play the over. Because I think Seattle's going to give up their share of points. Atlanta will get their points through their run game and their passing game. And with Mike Williams coming back for Seattle this week, at least they have actually been able to throw the ball a little bit, and they should be able to get some garbage points, much like last week, and hopefully take this over the total. Because if they're going to give up 30 to 40 points, which is what they've been giving up here lately to any decent team, that almost gets you over the total there in and of itself.
Right.
They should be able to get some garbage stuff in the end as well. So maybe a quick score at the beginning, a score at the end, and that should be enough to take this over the total. That's the way I'm going to play this. And if I had a lean, I'd lean towards Atlanta, but I probably won't play the side.
Interesting. Bob Harvey, what do you think about this line?
Yeah, I like just about everything he said. I think the strong play in this one is the over. I've just got a couple of thoughts on Seattle. It's amazing that Pete Carroll continues, after all these years, to be able to continue to pull the wool over the eyes of these different general managers and owners. Pete Carroll is a great college football coach, a rah-rah guy, a motivator. It didn't translate into wins back when he was in New England. It doesn't translate into wins now in Seattle. I wouldn't touch Pete Carroll at this point of the season with a 10-foot pole. This is a statement game for Atlanta. Falcons are 11-2. They can get into the playoffs with a victory. And what better way to show the rest of the league that you've arrived than by going on the road, winning, and clinching a playoff spot. So I like Atlanta as long as the number doesn't climb any higher than 6. I like Atlanta. If it climbs higher than 6, I'm going to jump on board with the over.
Interesting. All right. So the consensus of the experts is that even after 5 straight covers by Atlanta, the market still has not totally caught up with where the lines maybe should be.